U.S. Secretary of the State Hillary Clinton in the Capitol has reiterated the fight on terror, saying that combating terrorism remains the #1 challenge ahead of the meeting with the Prime Minister. While making it very clear that she shares New Delhi's views on fighting terror, she also reiterated that Pakistan has been making a real effort to fight terror. And the most important part of the interaction at the Delhi University was the reiteration by Hillary Clinton of US's active interest in ironing out Indo-Pak relations and how terror was very high on her agenda.
Combating terrorism and extremism is our #1 challenge. It is something that I take very personally. As you heard, I was a senator from New York for 8 years, starting in 2001. So I was there when we were attacked on 9/11. And much of what I've done in public life over the last many years has been to work to try to avoid another attack on us or anyone else, and to defeat and deter the extremists, to put a different vision out there that gives people a chance to compete peacefully. If you think you have a better idea, go into the marketplaces of ideas and put it forth. If you think you can make an argument that will win people's allegiance, go into the democratic process and make the argument. Be builders, not destroyers. It's so easy to destroy and it's so hard to build. And therefore, we have to look for many ways to support those who are standing against extremism. And I've said several times on my opportunities to talk to the press in the last several days that over the 6 months that we've been in office, I've seen a real commitment on the part of the Pakistani government and the Pakistani people to taking on the extremists that threaten them. It's no longer about somebody else. It's their hotels that are being blown up, and their police that are being killed, and their people who are being beheaded and mistreated for simple things that no one would think are in any way an offense. So anything we can do to try to convey support for those who are standing up against extremism anywhere is part of my mission and our country's mission. Indian and Pakistani young people to sort of take that step, to listen to each other, to talk to each other. I'm a big believer in talking. All during the Cold War, when it's hard perhaps for young people to understand, when I was growing up, the Soviet Union and communism was as scary to us as terrorism and extremism is today. I mean, we used to do drills when I was in elementary school. I mean, when I describe it to you, you'll wonder what our teachers were thinking, but in case of a nuclear attack, we were told to get under our desks. So as a very young child, that was our mentality. So we had this sense of the them. We had nothing to do with them. They had nothing to do with us.
And in fact, when the U.S. Secretary of the State meets the Prime Minister, both the countries will first put on the table the issue of terror. India wants the U.S. to keep up the pressure on Pakistan on 2611 probe, dismantling the terror infrastructure. It's a commitment that the U.S. will assure to enforce on Pakistan. The U.S. is also keen on ending on the end-user monitoring agreement that will facilitate high-end defense sales to India. It's a demand that India has been dragging its feet on. Now, while India has accepted setting of 3 U.S. nuclear reactors in different states, it still maintains its position of not signing the NPT or even the CTBT for that matter, and not giving in to demand by the US on climate change.